Yo, what up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's training. Excited about to train about how to best negotiate with sellers. Glad you guys were able to make it. Sorry about yesterday. Had a lot going on. I am moving, as you can see. I have no cool background. I'm moving. I'm eyeball deep into moving to Miami right now. So thank you guys for all being here, being patient with me, because I know this training was supposed to happen yesterday and I just couldn't get there. So what is up? As always, make sure I know your name, the market you are in, and the level of experience that you have. Throw it in the comments so I can say what's up to you, your name, the market you're in, and the level of experience you have. And I am going to get started here shortly. I actually am going to type out for all of you who are on here live exactly how I negotiate with sellers. And at the end, I want you guys to submit to me your most common heard objection or the most common hurdle you have when speaking to sellers, right? If they say something that catches you up every time, or maybe someone said something to today that threw you off guard, or something that you didn't know how to handle when they said it. That is what this training is for. Again, when you jump on, give me your name, the market you are in, and your level of experience. This business, just to start out, to frame why I am coaching you guys on how to best negotiate with sellers. This business is all about two things: marketing and sales. Now, some of you may feel like you're not a great salesperson or you don't like sales. I would ask you guys to reframe what you think sales is, right? It doesn't mean being some greasy, slimy, snake oil salesman. What you are trying to do is align yourself with someone else's values and figure out a way to make the two match, right? And so that's what we try to do as real estate investors. Is we want to get in front of as many sellers as possible. And we all know the real estate market is crazy on fire. Everyone thinks they can sell their home for $1 million. Trust me, I know, because I just had to buy $1 million plus property in Miami. That, anyways, side note, sorry. I would tell you the game has changed. For those of you who are like either just getting into the game or maybe has gotten into the game 6 months ago or a year ago, things are changing real time. It's a real issue right now because people, especially my students, they'll say, Justin, I'm having such a hard time to find motivated seller. Well, let's take a step back here. Realize something. There's not a lot of reason to be motivated right now. Now, there are still motivated sellers. But one of the things that people are having challenges with or misconceptions on is if you just pull a list that is a motivated list, like a probate list, pre-foreclosure list, tax lien list, that every person you're going to talk to has some incredibly high motivation. Like they are ready to sell right now at a deep discount. That is just a misconception. You've been taught wrong. You've watched someone's YouTube video somewhere that is not accurate. You've heard someone say something is not accurate, because real time, this is changing. Here's how I know. I was going to buy a rental yesterday. And the investor, the wholesaler I was going to buy it from, is a student of mine. Great dude. He might even be on this call right now. I don't know how many people are on right now. I had my number that he was okay with. One day later, because I made sure to line up my cash, he sold it to a hedge fund for $7,000 more than I could buy it for, and $7,000 more than anyone on this call or training would be able to buy it for, because hedge funds will buy above top dollar. So when I tell you the importance of this training is everything, if you are a wholesaler, you need to be on this training. You need to be paying attention. Quite literally, it's time to take out your notepad. Yes, I do notes and take notes for you guys so I can deliver. Take out your notepad, because I'm going to tell you exactly how to be negotiating with a seller, not a motivated seller, because you guys got to come to terms with motivation. These days are gone. The government quite literally is giving people free money. And on top of them getting free money, people aren't paying their mortgage and just keeping the cash. Now, at some point, would those people become motivated? Sure will, but not right now. So motivation, as we consider motivation, typically financial, isn't really there. So for those out there trying to pull the most motivated seller list in the world, stop. You've been taught wrong. You're doing it wrong. The key is to get in front of the seller, period, and a story, and then ask them the right questions, which is what this training is about, to see if there is motivation, right? And if so, understand how you can apply value to their need, their pain, their motivation. And if you can do that, you will now get yourself a deal. You'll create the deal rather than looking for motivation. I'm going hard on this topic over the next coming months. People are just being taught wrong. It's the old way of doing it. Yeah, motivated sellers, there's no motivation. So let's start there. Cool? I'm fired up today. I've had a ton of coffee because I'm moving. I'm training you guys. I'm just crushing it, right? So I hope you guys are crushing it too. So excited to see everyone on here. If you haven't yet, give me your name. Give me your market you're in, where you're investing. Give me the level of experience you have. I would love to give shout outs. I see Benny's here, Martin's here, Sylvia's here, Martine, I think it is, Judy, Stanley, Deal Buzzards. I love it. I see my man Ivan. What's up, dude? John. Ivan is coming to my event. I'm super excited about that. Everyone see Ivan. What's up, Ivan? He is coming to my event. And if you guys don't know, I have a 2-day intensive with my team, November 11th and 12th. You really want to know how to do this? We're going to be spending a couple hours going over in depth on how to sell, how to negotiate. You need to be in Scottsdale, November 11th and 12th with me and my team, 30 people max. It is cut off at 30 people. My buddy like Ivan has already bought his ticket. There are a handful of other people on here that bought their tickets. You need to get there. So if you just go to events.thescienceofflipping.com, events.thescienceofflipping.com, go there. You need to be there because I'm going to rock the house. I'm bringing in a creative finance genius. She is going to crush it for you guys, teach you all about creative finance. I have my manager who runs my entire company coming in. I'm bringing in my dispo managers who run all of the sales of all of our wholesale deals. I'm bringing in a credit finance expert to talk to you guys about leverage and how that works for your credit. I'm literally exposing my entire business model. If you aren't going to be there, you're crazy, right? 2 days with me and my team. You guys want to pour gas on your business? I don't care if you're trying to get your first deal done or if you're trying to do 2 or 3 deals a week. You need to be with me and my team. I promise you. If you think I'm fired up now, wait till you're around me for 2 days. Events.thescienceofflipping.com. Go to that link, book your ticket. 30 seats only. This is not a big event. This is intimate. It's going to change your business. It'll change your life. I promise you that. Just go and look at all the testimonials I have from people that have been at my 2-day intensives. This is the real deal. Super excited about it. Again, events.thescienceofflipping.com. Book it. And if you book it while we're on this training, I'm going to throw you some sort of bonus. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to throw you some sort of bonus. Just let me know in the comments below that you booked your seat while on this training. And I'm going to give you something really cool away. I'm going to give something to you. I don't know what that is because I just made it up right now, but I will make sure to give you some sort of really cool something if you tell me you booked and we can verify that. So let's jump in, guys. I know it has been a crazy, awesome week. I want you guys to finish strong. So here's how we negotiate with sellers. Let me set the table. I want to share my screen for you guys. So let me set the table with how to start the conversation. So I want to start this conversation with understanding why we're even on the phone. Okay. I don't care if you're cold calling them, text messaging them, direct mail, pay-per-click advertising, bandit signs. Doesn't matter. I don't care. At this point, you're on the phone. That's the whole point about this training. You're on the phone. We're talking about negotiating. I do all of my business virtually, 100% of it at this point. I don't care if I'm doing deals in Phoenix, which I'm physically in. If we just did a deal in New Jersey, we just contracted today. We just did a deal in Detroit. We just did a deal in Oklahoma City. We just did a deal in Tulsa. We just did a deal. I'm virtual. Every city and state we are in, we are complete. We just did a deal in Dayton, Ohio. We just did a deal in Cleveland, Ohio. If you're in any of those states, I got you. Let's do business together. But the premise is we're on the phone with the seller. So how do we start? Well, we need to ask the motivation questions, period. So I want to skip the fact of you just saying, hi, my name is Justin. I'm looking to buy a home in the area. Yeah, that's part of our script. And if you're a part of my coaching program, I give you that script. But that being said, you've made the introduction. Now I want to understand why we're even on the phone. Because there is one thing to be true. If they're on the phone with you and they haven't hung up and they haven't said F you, there's some interest, some that they are looking to sell their home. Okay. Doesn't mean they're going to sell at your price. Doesn't mean they're super highly motivated. Doesn't mean, you can close in 2 weeks. It just means there's interest. And that's all I'm looking for. So first, why are you looking to sell? Second, how long have you been thinking about selling? Why haven't you sold yet? That is the start. Now, obviously, I'm just listing it out for you, but how the conversation would go for you is something like this. Hey, Mr. Seller, my name's Justin. I know this is going to be out of the blue, but I was actually just looking to buy a home in the neighborhood. I'm a local investor. I just want to confirm you actually own 123 Main Street. Oh, you do. Okay, good. Listen, have you given any thought to selling? Okay, great. Do you mind if I ask you a couple quick questions? Awesome. So listen, how long have you been looking to sell? And then they're going to give you their answer. And depending upon their answer, you may divert into different questioning than what I have listed here. Okay. So I'll write this all out. I'll do the whole thing for you guys. Hello, Mr. Seller. Right, so I would say something like that. Or I would say, hello, is this Mr. Seller? My name is Justin. Sorry, guys, I didn't think about typing it all out, but I'm going to anyways. My name is Justin. I know this is out of the blue, but I am calling all your neighbors to see if anyone but I am calling all your neighbors to see if anyone is looking to sell. I am interested in buying an investment property in the neighborhood. Sorry for all the whatever, I'm moving fast. All right, so hello, Mr. Seller. My name is Justin Colby. Hello, is this, Mr. Seller? Great. My name is Justin Colby, and I know this is out of the blue, but I'm calling the entire neighborhood to see if anyone is looking to sell. I'm interested in buying an investment property in the neighborhood. I'm calling to see if you have ever given any thought to selling your property. Now, again, hello, is this Mr. Seller? If they say no, then you can start over and say, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you own 123 Main Street? That's the property I'm calling about. And then they could say yes. And you say, okay, I'm not sure why I got the wrong information, but and then my name is Justin. I'm actually, I know it's out of the blue, but I'm calling the neighborhood to see if anyone's looking to sell. I'm interested in buying an investment property in the neighborhood. calling you to see if you've ever given thought to selling your property, right? That is essentially it. I'm typing fast and talking fast, so it could be better. Don't get me wrong. But my script that I give my students is written out the right way. Now, they just say, well, yeah, I have been thinking about it. Or they'll say, no, I've never been thinking about it and hang up on you. They might see, stop calling me, F you. But if they continue to engage, that's the premise I'm coming from. They continue to stay on the phone and they might ask you a question, right? So how you start the conversation is not price. It's not, buy cash and close quick. You will get there. But how you start is to try to find motivation. So when you ask this question, why are you looking to sell? Listen to them, right? They will have different answers. How long have you been thinking about selling? Listen to them. Why haven't you sold yet? Listen to them. Every one of those questions potentially has the potential to take me down a rabbit hole to try to start finding motivation. Make sense? So it is really dependent upon their answers. Some other good questions would be, why haven't you listed it on right? Why haven't you listed it on the MLS? And then something else, I'll save the next one, but those for sure will give you some temperature on motivation, right? All four of those will give you some level of temperature check of motivation. Now, again, depending upon how they're going to answer these, you can take the conversation in a different way. Now, here's what I don't advise. I never advise in terms of any level of this conversation, are you going to say you're a wholesaler? Some of the people that are new to this space, they're going to call, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm a wholesaler. I have a big network of buyers. And what I try to do is I try to be able to find you a buyer and collect a fee in the middle. Is that cool? I don't do that, because what you're doing by saying wholesaler is opening up a can of worms, because they don't know what that is. Like 99.9% of people in the United States have no idea what a wholesaling investor is. They don't get it. Now you're going to open up questions that they don't understand. You're not a licensed realtor. You're wholesaling. You're collecting a fee. What's happening here? And then you want me to discount my home so you can collect a fee for it? You're just going down the wrong path. So I do not ever say I am a wholesaler. Even if I'm going to wholesale it, I still just say I'm an investor looking to buy an investment property. That's how I explain myself, right? So, Mr. Seller, thank you for taking my call. Are you looking to sell anytime soon? Why haven't you sold yet? Why are you looking to sell now? Why haven't you listed on MLS? Now, based around all that, they'll give you probably some generic answers, right? Because obviously, most sellers, if there is a pain, if there is an issue, whether it's financial or personal, they usually won't expose it for a little time. Some people will call that building rapport, right? You need to build rapport, which, yes, in the technical sense, that's what we're doing here. But really, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to listen, right? And the better you listen, the better rapport you will build throughout the conversation, because you will understand where their issues lie. So a lot of times, let's just use like, I haven't sold yet because I was thinking about selling, the beginning of next year, because my daughter graduates college, right, in December. Okay, great. Or they might say, we need to finalize the divorce. Or they might just say, well, I've been thinking about selling. I haven't given it too much thought, but I've been thinking. So then you might want to go down the path of understanding, while they're thinking, what has given them the reason to think about it. So let's just say further conversation looks more like, where are you looking to move? Why are you moving there? What does it mean to you to get there? Right? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push them into their ideal scenario. I want them to mentally understand that good feeling, that feeling that will come from moving closer to their grandchildren, or moving to a different state because they're getting a really cool job, or whatever they're going through, right? So this is really the blueprint for having the conversation. But every conversation can be a little different because the homeowners have different circumstances. Okay. And so with that, you really are asking these questions first. Now, let's just say that there is some motivation, like, hey, I have a job starting November 1st in Florida. By the way, I'm moving to Florida, so that's why I'm using this. So it's October 15th. So now all of a sudden I hear that, right? The biggest thing here, and I'm not that graphically inclined, but right here I would put a box that says, listen, right? Listen when you're asking these questions. Because if you do that, you will have the right correspondence. Meaning, when they say something, don't just immediately reply. Let them kind of elaborate on this concept of what they're talking about. So now they got to be somewhere November 1st. So then you could say, okay, well, so it sounds like you probably want or need to sell pretty quickly. Are you in a need to sell, or are you able to hold that mortgage even after you move? Right? That would be a question I would ask if they gave me that example. But for the sake of this training, I'm not going to write that on because that's not pertinent to every conversation you're going to have. What you're trying to do is trying to find out where you can provide value. So what I would write here, so listen so you can provide value to what their answers are. So in this case, what we want to be able to do is help them understand who you are, right? So now all of a sudden, be through your listening and some other questions, you can now say, hey, awesome. I'm not certain I'm going to be the right buyer, right? So now let's just say, again, the example I'm giving is they need to be in Florida November 1st. So how I would then handle that is to help them lower their guard because they don't want to be taken advantage of. So I'd say, hey, I'm not certain I'm going to be the right buyer for you, but let me see if I can help. Here's how I work, right? So I'll type that out. Oh, Mr. Seller, let me see if I can help you. Here's how I work. An investor, so I'm looking to buy this as an investment. I'm not going to live in the property. I can close cash. I can close quick or as long as you need. There are, no cost to you. I'm not an agent. There's no commissions. In fact, the number that we agree upon, subtract your loan, that's going to be the net number that you're able to put in your pocket. And then here comes a great question. This is one of my powerhouse questions, right? And I'm going to bold it for you. So let me ask you, do you have a number in mind that you need to put in your pocket to make this move? The reason why I'm asking this question here, which is relatively early in the conversation, depending upon how quickly you get through these other questions, is because most people understand that they will have a loan. Most homeowners are going to have a loan. So if you can get a number out of them on what they need to move, and I will usually make a joke of this, and I'll make a joke and I'll say, so the joke is like I start laughing a little bit. Listen, I mean, what do you need? I don't mean what do you want? Because listen, I totally know you want as much as possible. You want 100, 200, $300,000 in your pocket. I totally get it. But if you have a number that you need to put in your pocket to make this move and make this transition seamless for you, which is what I'm trying to help you do, what is that number? And if you say it the way I'm saying it right now, straightforward, easygoing, kind of jovial, most people will say, I need a number, right? And once you get that number from them, then you can start doing some pretty easy math. Then the next question would be, okay, great. You need 50K. You still have a loan, don't you? How much do you owe on your loan? Now, this questioning sequence is really powerful. I do not talk numbers on the phone the first call. I do not. There's a lot of salespeople who say one call close, go for it. I don't. I will allow them to talk numbers, right? So I'm asking this through the questions of motivation. Now I'm saying, hey, great, you need to move by November 1st in this example. Do you know how much you need to put in your pocket? And listen, when I say need, I literally mean to make this a seamless transition for you. I don't mean want, because you're going to give me some number like 250 grand. I get it. What do you really need to make this seamless? Oh, you need 50 grand. Okay, let me ask you, Mr. Seller, you have a loan on this, right? I would assume. Yeah, I do. Do you happen to know how much you owe left on this loan? Because I have to pay off the loan for you. Oh, I think about 120,000, right? They're going to give you a number because how you would just ask that question, um, pay off that loan for you. So that part, you paying off their loan kind of ignites something exciting for them. Like, wow, okay, I don't have to pay off the loan. And then it also helps them understand like there's the loan and then there's what goes in your pocket. In this sequence of questions, I promise you, more often than not, you're going to have a seller give you the numbers, right? Now, if they are not that motivated, it may take further conversations to get anything out of them. Because if someone were to call me and say, hey, Justin, I'm looking to buy a home in the area. Are you looking to sell? I'd probably say, I'm not really, but I mean, for the right price, maybe. I mean, how serious are you? But that's because I have zero motivation. So if you guys are hearing that, move on to the next, right? Like too many newbies struggle with the fact that you need to talk to a lot of people. A good friend of mine, Brent Daniels, like that's his whole message, talk to people. And it's a lot of people. This is not like go talk to 5 homeowners. I'm talking about talk to, 10 a day if you can. Now, we're not talking about marketing and lead flow and all that stuff, but like that's the reality because I started this training by helping you guys understand as a moment in time, October 15th, 2021, there's not a lot of motivation financially out there. There's not a lot of heartache. As crazy as this world is through COVID, people don't have as much motivation as you would think. Even though logically you're like, oh, you don't have a job, you're living off the government, you probably should sell your home. They won't because they don't have to pay their mortgage. They're getting free money from the government. Why would they? Follow me? So, all of that, most people that have any level of motivation, the way you sequence these questions, they will then jump out and give you these answers. So now you know without asking them what they want to sell for. You now know they want to put 50 grand in their pocket and they have a loan on 120. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the number of 170. I'm just going to take note on this, right? I'm going to take my notepad and I'm going to write it down. And then right after this, I'm going to say, I'll just unbold this so we can make it like a little different. I have not done I've not done any research, Mr. Seller, about your property, but do you mind if I ask you a couple more questions just about the property, and then I can go back and understand more where my numbers would land, so I can give you a real offer. Would that be okay? Great. So now that I've set the tone, now I'm going to ask questions about the property itself, right? So now I have property questions. Um, have you done any major repairs, such as roof, pool, foundation, replace AC, etc.? I want to know if there's been any big ticket items. So I'll say that. Hey, Mr. Seller, just curious if you've done any major repairs in the last couple of years, like replace the roof. Have you had to redo your pool? Have you had to replace the AC? Any real major repairs? No, not really anything. Okay, great. And then I would say something like, if they say no, how long have you lived there? So now you're saying, how long have you lived there? So if they've lived there for 30 years and they haven't done anything, likely all of that is going to have to get replaced. And now all of a sudden you're thinking, oh man, okay, I need a new roof. I'm going to likely need this. I'm going to likely need this. So you're starting to get a baseline. Now you don't say anything, but that's what you're thinking. And you're taking it down your notes. Then another great question will be, if you had to do some remodeling, where would you start? How would you invest into making your home like it? So now I want to know, where would they start? By the way, this is not for me because I know all these things. I know after 14 years of doing this, 2,000 deals, I know essentially the kitchen's original, the flooring's original, the paint's outdated. I'm going in and repairing everything. But then if you ask them that, they're going to start giving you answers and start to come to realization of like, oh, that's expensive. And then the key to this whole thing will be, why haven't you done those repairs? Or why aren't you doing those repairs before you sell? This is the key, right? And again, I'm just typing real time, so there's some edits in here. We can change those, but that's the key here, right? Is you helping them, and I'll just do this just to make it look a little neater. You helping them understand they don't have the money to do it, right? That's all of a sudden you're starting to create psychologically their understanding. They need to sell to someone like you, because to get out of this in some level of speed, they need to give something up, which is going to be price. And it's best to be able to go back to them and say, hey, based around what you told me, you would be redoing the kitchen, or you'd be redoing the carpets, or you'd be redoing the flooring, or you'd repaint. I'm going to do that, but that means I'm going to have to not only buy the home from you, I'm going to have to make more investments. And honestly, I just don't know where my number is going to be, right? And so that's the next stage is this is where I start to set myself up for the next call. And I will say exactly what I just said to you. Um, so let's make it on bold. Here's what's next. So now I'm going to set the tone. Hey, I have a little money partner. Think about this. The little nerdy guy with the calculator, glasses, toupee on his head. That's my guy in the back office. He's my money guy. I can't buy anything unless he says, yes, we're good to go. As an investor, obviously, I need an ROI. I need to combine him with my contractor to get an estimated repair budget. You just told me you would redo the kitchen, paint, flooring. So we got to put something together. So I need to get them two together to figure out what I can offer you that would make sense to you and to me. But I want to make sure you understand if it's not the number that you want or need, just communicate that with me. Okay. We can't buy every single home. Not everyone is willing to accept our price. I get that. That's okay. So just know there's no pressure here. I just need to make sure the number we give you is something that can fit for us and hopefully would make sense for you so you can be in the state, in Florida November 1st. Cool. So that's where I start to remove pressure by saying, if our number doesn't work, that's totally okay. So if our number doesn't work, that's totally okay. And then I'll ask, do you happen to have a number in mind that you want? Now, remember, I've already prefaced the fact that I have not done any research on the property. So they can say, what do you think you're going to offer? And I'm just going to go back to the, hey, again, I just reached out to you or I called you or whatever the situation is. I haven't done any research. I apologize. I still don't know yet. But now that you've given me some information, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to bring it to my money guy. I'm going to give the contractor my estimations of what we are going to need to do the home based around what you told me. And we'll go from there. Cool. And then that's it, right? But I'm 95 yards down the field. The other far 5% is really the numbers and anything else that might go along with their speed to sell. Do they understand the paperwork? Do they understand the process? That kind of stuff. That's the last 5%. But this is how you negotiate. Now, most people, I'm going to start talking to you guys again. Most people don't get to this point because they want to get too quick to the numbers, right? I'm not going to give a number, not because I want to, and I'll even say this to sellers sometimes, or I have my team say this to sellers, like, I'm sorry, this isn't like we're trying to hold our offer back or play games with you. I just need to make sure I can give you an offer that really makes sense to us. And so I'm not playing the first person who speaks. So listen, you don't want to start with my number, right? I'm an investor. I want to buy this for as low as possible. And you want to sell for as high as possible. So let's just start with your number first, because mine would be $1. Ha 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 ha, right? I'll make a joke about it. I want to buy yours for $100. No, not 100,000. I said 100. Ha ha ha. Right? Like, make it a joke. You're an investor. You would start at a really low number. Laugh. So let's start with your number. And if they are unwilling to tell you, say that's not a problem. Let me get back to you here momentarily, and I'll probably come up with some level of bracket. Right? We could be in a range. Would that help? Great. Give me a couple minutes. Let me call you back. Or if you don't mind holding, I'll do some preliminary, very quick, rough Bubba math, I like to call it, and give you a range. Now, I don't go and I don't train my team to go into every call knowing the numbers, because a lot of times you're going to deal with a seller that's not motivated. We've talked about this a lot already in 40 minutes. So I don't want to spend my time or my team's time analyzing deals, comping properties, looking at what rents are, looking at, just call the seller and find the motivation, because the majority of the time they're not going to have any. Right? The majority of time, we've talked about this, right? So that said, I can then bracket them. I can keep them on hold or call them back in a couple minutes, do a little bit of research and give them a bracket. So let's say I would be willing to buy 150. Well, then I'll give them a bracket like, hey, I'm probably between 115 and 135, 140. Are we playing the same game? Are we in the right ballpark? Well, if you can get up to that 140 number, I really wanted 150. Well, I knew I could pay 150, but kept my bracket lower than my top number so that I could actually have some wiggle room. Make sense? You also might have a seller who laughs you off the phone. Ha, I wouldn't sell for less than 250 and hangs up on you. Might happen. That's why I don't want to go too far down the path of like analyzing deals, comping rents, comping this, like just go have a question about motivation. Then when you bracket them, you will actually get like a response out of them. And then based around that response comes more questions. So let's just say, my bracket's 115 to 140. I could pay 150 and they say, I want 175. I know I can't get there, right? So the first question I'm going to ask is, where did you come up with that number? So I will type that on the sheet, even though I'm not sharing my screen. Give seller bracket. Are we playing same game? Seller gives higher number. You ask, how did you come up with that number? So, then, when they come up with a number that is way higher than you're able to pay, you just say, ask where, how, oh, and then most of the time my neighbor sold for this or this, that, and the other. And you're just going to have to slowly educate them on why that number probably won't work for you. And this is when you lean on the fact of like, hey, if I can't buy it, that's okay. Do you have any wiggle room from that number? Because I just don't think my money guy is going to allow us to get up to this number of 175. I might be able to get to 145. I mean, at best, maybe he says something I don't, and the contractor reduces his budget, and we can get to 150 at best. But why 175? You gotta explain a little bit more to me. Because remember, you've already asked them why they haven't listed it on the MLS. So then you can say, well, you told me why you're not listing on the MLS because you don't want a lot of people walking to your house. You commissions, that and the other. So if you take commissions off of 175, you're going to be, in time, and I can close in 2 weeks, and you might have another mortgage payment on November 1st. And I'm going to get all this done for you before November 1st. Take the 150 if I can get there and roll, right? And then it's just the negotiation about price. But that whole sequence is 2 calls. Okay. So again, here's what I would tell you guys, those that are committed to this: become a great salesperson. Most importantly, come to my event, because I could quite literally spend the next 2 hours training on this. But I don't have time, right? I need to cut this training here, but I will be going over this in depth at my event, events.thescienceofflipping.com. What I want to do now for the last 10 minutes or so, I want you guys to give me objections. Okay. I want you guys to give me objections you've heard that you don't know how to overcome, or maybe something that recently happened that you didn't know how to handle, so I can handle them right here. Again, give me your name, give me the objection, and I'll help you and I'll advise you right here. But I promise you guys, you need to be at this event to learn this, if nothing else. Again, I'm going to have Creative Finance Genius there. She's going to spend 2 hours. She can get all your deals done. I'm going to be going over sales. I have my team, how we hire, how we sell properties. My dispo team is going to be there, where we're finding buyers, how we're selling for top dollar, how I'm buying rentals virtually. I'm teaching everything at my event, right? I want you there. November 11th, November 12th, Scottsdale, Arizona, 30 seats only, events.thescienceofflipping.com. If you register and get your seat while I'm still on this call and let me know in the thread below, I'm going to give you away something really, really cool. I don't know yet because I still haven't thought about it, but it will be cool, I promise. And I'll hand deliver it to you when you get to the event. All you have to do is let me know right here on this thread before this is up, by the way. Events.thescienceofflipping.com. All right. What are the objections you are hearing? Let me help you overcome them. and we will go from there. All right, what's up, man? There are so many great people on here. Indy's on here. John's on here. This is fun. Kai from Fort Lauderdale. What's up? Joel, what is up in Nashville? 2 months in the business. Money Man, what's up? California market, less than a year. Alicia, Central Florida. What's up, girl? Benny, Delaware, 2 years. What's up, Justin Newby? Thomas from Philly, 1 month experience. Ivan, what's up, brother? Oh, man, there are so many great people. Nicole, love it. Shayana Lee, maybe I just need to get a good list. That's not necessarily the case, Shayana. Man, there are some great comments in here. Okay, hold on. Can only go so fast. Shay from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. What's up, girl? Tony, what up, Justin? David Call, I have a deal in Harper Woods, Michigan. Send it over, brother. What's up, everyone? Shay, what's the best way to find sellers? PropStream is the very best way to find sellers. PropStream is the only thing I require from my students. So if you just go to tsofdata.com, tsofdata.com, and use the promo code TSOF, they'll allow you to download a 10,000 person list for absolutely free. Absolutely free. Just use promo code TSOF. PropStream is the spot. Great question. Barbara from Las Vegas. Matt Smith, how do you categorize your leads? How do you categorize your leads? Do you have a process for cold, hot, and warm? Yes, I do. So in my Podio account, which is what I use for my CRM, we actually have cold, warm, and hot. And that's how we categorize it, right? So hot would be someone that wants to sell in the next 30 days. Warm would be like the next 90 days. Cold is like in the next year, right? But by them even having the category cold, warm, or hot, they are actually a real lead. Follow me? If they just don't want to sell, they won't even make any of those categories. Make sense? Good question. Shayana, maybe I need to get a good list. The point is the list, the best list, the very best list. Here it is. Ready? Absentee homeowners. End of story. Call them, mail them, door knock them, absentee homeowners from PropStream. Again, tsofdata.com. Use promo code TSOF. They will give you a list for free. PropStream. Nicole Tedder, David Call, what do you have in Harper Woods? Oh, let's get some deals done on here. This would be great. Alfred, I'm new. Facebook sending diamonds. Wish I could come out. I know, Nicole, would love to have you. Shayana, hey, Justin, I've been going for it for a year now, and I'm missing something major. I think I may be my listener. Shayana, if I can be honest, get to my event. Is there any reason you can't make it to Scottsdale November 11th and 12th? I will change how you're running your business. If you can't figure it out in a year, you need to be next to me and my team. I will get you on the right tracks. I promise you that. Chloe, what's up? Want double the property worth, saw Zillow numbers. Yeah, so Zillow. So great. That's a big objection, right? Sellers are going to be like, I want a number because it says it on Zillow. Awesome. That's a very real objection. Here's the challenge that you have to let them know. Just because that has the number on Zillow, I'm going to show you a couple properties that sold for less than that. So I understand you want Zillow, but let me ask you, why haven't you listed it for that price? When you keep going back to this listing it, they're going to really show you their true situation, right? Because then they're going to say, well, I'm not really that interested in selling. Great. It's not worth any more of your time to keep talking to the seller. Cool. Justin, are you buying in Michigan? Yes, I am. Great question, Nicole. Edwin, can you send me that document? Yes, I can, Edwin. Cheyenne, yeah, that's what I go for. So, I'm missing something else major. Cheyenne, I'm promising you. Get to the event. I promise. Let's go. Cheyenne Lee. Events.the science of flipping. Sign up. Get there. There's only 30 seats. If you miss it, you miss it. You need to be there. Princess Giara, Princess Newbie from Hotlanta. What's up, girl? Happy to have you here. Great market. Hedge funds are buying all over Georgia, so that is a great market. Nicole Tedder, what's your buy box? I'm open. But 3-2s. I could look at duplexes. Um, you know, something that would be a good rental, right? That's kind of the concept I would be looking for. All right, y'all. That's all I got for this training. Hopefully this helped. Appreciate you. Events.thescienceofflipping. Shayana, you got to get there. Events.thescienceofflipping.com. Change your life. You need to be there November 11th, November 12th in Scottsdale, Arizona. No one booked their ticket while I was on the video, so I don't have a cool giveaway like an iPhone or something like that. Bummer. Are you posting the script that you put up today? I can give it away. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, appreciate you. Shayana, if you do book your ticket, I'll hook you up with something. Maybe not as cool as like an iPhone, but Ivan, you already booked your ticket. Looking forward to seeing you during the event, bud. Dude, Ivan, appreciate you. I'm very excited about this journey you're about to embark on, bro. It's gonna be a game changer for you, brother. So I will talk to y'all later. Peace.